Okay, let's see. Dear Jason, can you please read this fanfic I made featuring you when... Oh my... Jason from GameRave.com, otherwise known as Dangerboy. This is Game-Rave TV. Well, it's a question and answer episode, so I figured I'd get to your guys' questions. And when I jokingly said that it was going to be like a Reddit AMA interview question session, you guys took that literally. There were some really interesting personal questions I wasn't expecting. I thought it'd be all about collecting and so forth. So I basically pulled everyone I could find. We're going to answer these, and let's get to it. Question number 1. Are there any games that you refuse to buy via eBay or on the Amazon Marketplace just because you had to put so much time into the physical hunt for it? From Dan. No. I have reached a point in my collection where the only place I can get what I need is on eBay or Amazon or some crazy trolling of web forums and so forth. Back in the day when things were more readily available, I did really enjoy the hunt. But the hunt came in being able to walk into a wall or a gondola full of games and just start rifling through everything, piece by piece, hand by hand, checking for variants and so forth. Once PlayStation and Saturn games began leaving the marketplace, and I mean the actual physical brick and mortar store, not Xbox Live, the hunt just wasn't there anymore. And it's really soul crushing to like go into places that still have, you know, PS1 games and Saturn games and realize I don't need any of it. Like, most of my shopping days are basically at 10 in the morning to like 2 in the morning on eBay and Amazon and using every possible search term I can think of. The last 5 discoveries I've ever had were basically found by accident. Figure that one out. Thanks. Me Gusta Portelis. I hope I said that right. It's a nickname. Great video. Thank you. One question. Do you collect PAL variants or just NTSC? God, no. Only US. At one point in my life, for about 3 seconds, I was thinking about collecting Japan and PAL imports. Not the entire library, but just the games that weren't released in America. Which, after the 3-second thought, would have boiled down to basically unreadable text dating games from Japan and all the weird restaurant sushi making games, and then whatever is the hell European people play. No, seriously, I love you guys. But no way, no how. Between the PAL countries' country variants and Japan's, we're going to release a game 19 different times under 4 different categories and design. No, US is fine. Alright, from Chris Chandler. Desert Island, 5 PlayStation games from the US that you would bring with you. Multiple disc games are okay. If I was on an island and I can only have 5 games. Well, Intelligent Cube for 1, just because I could drive myself nuts that way. Probably Street Fighter Alpha 3 for the World Tour mode, because it never gets old beating up 4 Balrogs. Final Fantasy Anthology for Final Fantasy VI. Fighting RPG puzzle. Valkyrie Profile, second RPG. Oh my fucking god, I can't live without that game. Number 5. 10-pin alley or Brunswick Pro Bowling, based on whether or not I want to be Earl Anthony or not. Let's see. From Executioner. Since you work at Interact in the past, is there any crazy interesting stories while you work there? That would take an entire YouTube channel and about 3 years of my life to document. From smashing keyboards over our heads to fake wrestling events on the front lawn to God help you, like seriously, that was the best 1.5 years of my life. However, the craziest thing that I could share with you in the time I have, if you want insight into what it's like to be a professional, and I can use that term literally, game reviewer and editorialist, when I was there, I got to review on the PlayStation 1 the Dragon Ball Z Ultimate 22 game. And that game is shitty. I don't care what you... Nothing about that game is amazing. And I wrote the review, posted it, cool, no problem. Came back to work the next day and with my email, and what I'm about to present to you, unedited, no changes, nothing, is the actual full text of the email minus the person's name, because that's gone to history. So go ahead and pause the YouTube video to read it. But here is the actual email I got for my review. I love journalism. I don't know who asked this, but do you ever wish there were more or less games released on PlayStation? Ooh, I don't really know the angle you're asking this from. From a buying standpoint, I'm sure everyone who's going for a complete collection wishes there were less games. I wouldn't say Gamecom less games, or but I definitely wouldn't do more. Like, PlayStation's about 2,000 games. The Japanese PlayStation 1 is like 3,000 games. Fuck that! I've got 12 copies of Tomb Raider. I don't need 19 copies of Final Fantasy VIII. You know what, I guess this could go for any size library. I mean, any game library for that matter. It doesn't really matter the number of games you have, just so long as the games it has are worth the printing of the disc or the download of the, you know, digital version. Like, the Wii has some of the most amazing games I've ever played, like Zack and Wiki and Excite Truck, but they're buried under just shit tons of shovelware. To a degree, the PlayStation does have that, but not to the kid degree. The PlayStation shovelware was more like just way too many sports games and then random, you know, cheap budget action titles like Spec Ops and so forth. I think the PlayStation had a pretty decent, healthy-sized library. I just wish it had a lot more games I'd be willing to actually invest hours and hours into. Because I don't really play sports, because I don't like sports. Sorry. Okay, so you seem very, very smart. You're very articulate. You apparently do graphic design and are at least somewhat tech-savvy. Why the hell did you spend so many years working in retail stores? It's a personal one. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B and C. Half victim of circumstance, half got too comfortable, half God knows whatever excuse I can think of. After when I was working at Game Shark Interact, and the company went under, I started work at EB Games because I was looking for an assistant manager. And at the time when I was trying to get back into gaming, like literally like lost my job, started hunting for jobs, took a job at EB Games while still job hunting. At the time, the internet was in a weird state of flux. Basically, at the time, I know this is a long time ago, about 13 years, the internet was killing off all the publications and magazines because you could get your information for free on the internet, but then all the internet sites were dying off because no one had an actual business model to make money. Like, that was just, like, everyone was just like, oh, we're gonna have a website, money! Doesn't work like that. And, so, like, to give you an idea of how bad it was, at the time there was a video game job site that was it was like only's purpose was for video game jobs. I was at my computer, I sent up the application and the resume and so forth, I hit print, or hit send, stood up, walked 4 feet to grab a cup of tea, phone rings. Answer the phone, it's the actual owner of the website, and he said, hey, just to give you guys a heads up, gaming journalism is almost dead. At the time, I can't remember what magazine it was for, I think it was EGM, but he basically told me that someone that already worked at a professional magazine took a 55% pay cut to keep his job, because that's how bad the gaming journalism economy was at the time. Hence why I worked at EB Games. As time went on and I transferred back home, I started going back to school to get my graphic design degree and so forth, and at the time, all the graphic design stuff was going out of business because everyone had those like, oh look, I can hit one button and make my own thing even though it sucks and it's all clip art shit. And it basically got too comfortable, yada yada. But right now, I actually am finally the graphic design stuff actually didn't go to waste though. Me and my fiancee, Becky, love her, have actually done some pretty cool stuff. We actually did all the brand marketing and uniforms and outfits and like water bottle stuff for a place called Maggie Rose's Bicycle Shop in Florida. And we also redesigned the Buca de Beppo's kids menu. So if you go to that restaurant and you look at that kids menu, that was me and my fiancee. Right now, with my graphic design stuff, I do like ads and booklets and marketing for a local kitchen and bath shop. But the real answer to the where I'm going with my graphic design is actually in the next question, which is, what's that robot thing in the background? That is Keybot, and that little cat character is Amy. They are from a kid's book that I do now on iTunes. In fact, this is the boy with the dreaming key, and this is Oberon. The bear and the cat are his imaginary friends, and basically the robot was the boy's first imagination. It was kind of like his own imaginative Power Rangers adventure. Right now there's 4 books out, and I actually do a web comic for it, and it's actually really cool, and I'm hoping to, well, I shouldn't say hoping, it's my goal to one day just have it be its own, you know, graphic novel, cartoon, video game, movie, license, you know, who's Harry Potter, we want the boy with the dreaming key. So if anyone out there has, you know, someone looking for the next big thing. Next up, did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he put on a dress and played a girl bunny? Oh, that has to be Salty. No, but I actually find women more attractive the more they're wearing. Like, you can take your Dead or Alive bikini thong thing, give me FemShep, give me Samus Aran, give me, okay, Chun-Li's kind of borderline, but I love seeing Arbor chicks. It makes them badass, makes them a cooler character to play. Is there anything else you collect aside from PlayStation and Saturn games? Debt. Actually, yes. A long time ago, I basically collected everything. I mean, like, I think I said this in one of my other videos, like, the last time I took an Excel sheet to my collection, I was almost at 5,000 games. Don't ask. After selling it all off, I have no idea what I'm at now, but, as far as collection goes, I basically whittled it down to my true fanboy collection, and with the exception of Nintendo, it's roughly like the 16, early 32-bit era. That was just really the golden age of gaming for me. The PlayStation 1 had all the best RPGs and puzzle games. The Saturn had all the best fighting games and arcade games. You know, like the TurboGrafx had some of the best, like, WTF mate games. Yeah, like, as far as what my collection goes now, complete collections of what I have would be Laser Active, TurboGrafx, Turbo Duo, Gamecom. I'm 11 or 12 games away from a complete NES collection, but that's never going to happen because I refuse to pay $800 for little Samson. Complete PlayStation, complete Saturn, complete Sega CD, complete Dreamcast. I am like 30 or less away from a complete Japanese Neo Geo CD collection. And I only went with the Japanese side because it had the 9 extra games, and with the exception of those 9, everything else plays in American on the US Neo Geo CD. So, you know, that's sweet. Plus, I love spine cards. I do. And then for anything else, I basically sold off everything except for like the few games I had to have. Like I kept my Super Nintendo basically just for UN Squadron and Ninja Turtles in Time, and kept my Intellivision for bowling. It's the best fucking bowling game out there before Wii Sports Resort came out. But yeah, man, I sold off a lot. Like 3DO entire collection, all my N64 stuff. I know, relax. like Game Boy, Game Gear, Sega Genesis, 32X. Like, it was just a mass sell-off, and I can't picture myself ever collecting, as far as a complete set goes, for another system again. With present day game systems, there's just too many like variants just because of a stupid digital code. Like, I think Assassin's Creed alone has like 9 variants per game just because it says GameStop or Walmart or Target on the cover. Plus all the digital content that hasn't been put to disc. BioWare, Mass Effect trilogy bullshit. But yeah, I do collect those, and like I said, that's pretty much all I'm going to collect. Alright, follow-up question on that from someone else, and I unfortunately lost the name, was when you finish your hunt for the last 11 games, what will you do? Or what will you collect? I think I'm going to play them. Once PlayStation is done, and I don't think it's ever going to be done, I only really have a couple variants to track down for the Saturn, and then a couple demos for the Dreamcast, but those are, God. And then like the last couple of Neo Geo CD games and maybe a couple of PlayStation 2 games I want just to have them. Cause, on my PlayStation 2 I basically sold off everything but all the arcade compilation or compilation discs, just so I could have like a little, like, you know, mini arcade, because I can't do emulators. Not out of more obligation, but the only emulator I ever got to run properly was Nesticle, and then the Neo Geo one on the DS. Like, I just can't do MAME and stuff like that. I'm just too technically stupid. But yeah, I'll probably play them, and then if I finally find them, the amount of time I spend looking for the last few things I need could be spent actually archiving and playing them on GameRave. But that said, that leads us to the final question. Alright guys, the absolute #1 asked question, and I don't know why I'm surprised by this, was what last 11 things I needed for my collection. And rather than try and explain on camera what I need, I'm just going to post the image of the stuff I need. Also, if you guys haven't been to GameRave since the last episode, GameRave is officially updated. I basically tossed out the old website and have updated it to a WordPress version. This has been something I've been meaning to do for at least 2 years, and I was never comfortable with WordPress's backend and messing with the themes and so forth, but after having used it and messing with some of the themes for the kids book site, I felt it was time for GameRave to finally get upgraded. More on that next episode. But right now, basically, you're going to see my need list scroll by, and if you go to GameRave.com, there's actually a big-ass button now that says Get Jason's Need List. Everything on my need list, well, I shouldn't say everything, the majority of my need list is actually either just variants or just like 1 or 2 demos that escaped me the first time through. Out of all of them, I say, I don't know, like, a lot of them are just orphans. Like, I just need a disc to this sleeve, or I need a sleeve to this disc, or like it's a variant like the Rayman 2 Beach Ball variant that was just discovered and so forth. I've clicked links to the pages if I did pages for them. Otherwise, yeah, hopefully this image is scrolling past when I do this and you can see what I need. If you have any access, hints, tips, links, possibilities to having any of this stuff, let me know. I have never ever been this close. Like, every time I get within like 10 objects, like 9 more things pop up. This is the absolute closest I've ever been to finally completing the collection, and I would just absolutely love to see it happen. That said, GameRave's first Q&A session is officially over. I just want to thank everyone for their questions. They were absolutely amazing. Like, I was not expecting all the personal stuff and interest in things not PlayStation. So you guys are amazing. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, guys.